Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Chronicling.
I didn't even get that far. Right. I haven't even got through the second line and I'm already sweating. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nothing and Like It, thankfully the only podcast chronicling the FWA via its appearances on television. We have been on a bit of a tangent the last couple of months, but I am the captain of this ship that needs writing, Kieran Lefort, and joining me, my two first mates. Firstly, a man I have seen either in person or via webcam 5 days out of 7 this week, Andy Ogden. Andy, how are you doing?
What am I then? Seaman Stains, captain of the Titanic. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Kieran. Good to see you once again doing podcasting.
It's all right. It'll be a couple of weeks after this. We won't have to think about each other for a bit.
It's only another week, mate.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit. Okay, fine. Let's move on then to a man I'm looking forward to getting a whole weekend with in about a month, Eddie Sideburns. Eddie, how are you?
Guten Tag. I am doing very well. I'm excited to finally see you since our last time in London. Did get a bit of FOMO when I saw everyone's photos of being at the door that's forbidden or not, but I'm glad everyone had a good time, and I'm glad everyone got to meet an FWA legend in Ulf. So
yes, we did.
Can't wait.
Yes, we did. If you haven't seen it, have a poke around on our social media. Andy and I bumped into Ulf Herman after Forbidden Door. In fact, everybody in the pub bumped into Ulf Herman after Forbidden Door. And that was the pub to be in for sure.
And we all got asked, what did you think of my daughter's match?
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to tell him it was shit, was I? But firstly, it wasn't. And secondly, it's Ulf Herman. I'm not going to tell him his daughter was crap.
No.
So, we are back to normal. It is 2 episodes of FWA TV on the Wrestling Channel. Episode 19, August the 12th, 2004. Let us open with one of the worst things I ever put on television. We open on John Atkins, barely able to suppress a smile. He is sitting on a sofa in a cardio room at the Enfield Leisure Centre to talk to Nikita about the bounty on her head. She says she will continue to fight off anyone who tries to claim it until the person who set it has been found. And she's barely got through that when Tex Benedict leaps up from behind her sofa and flings it over a third sofa, which apparently is just out of shot. And then he jumps up on it, he's cackling and gloating about how this 10 grand is all going to be for him. And she pops back up, punches him in the dick, decks him and leaves him laying under his own hoodie with a sassy, I don't think so. And meanwhile, John is completely scarpered, nowhere to be seen in any of this. Have you got anything to say about it before I go into the circumstances? Or
Amateur hour.
Yes, it was.
A couch area in a gym is a very interesting kind of like in the middle of all this fitness stuff. You just see couch, like a chat show kind of area. It was nice to see Mr. Hardcore without a green screen. It was nice to see he actually exists in a world.
It does exist outside the void, yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, we see him at ringside for quite a bit, but it's good to see him in the actual environment. But yeah, this her accent, like, I know. Right, I know. I think it's just a mix of so many things. I just have no idea. It's not Lemmy Vine where he hears the person with like the Dundonian Edinburgh accent. He goes, "That accent's shocking, eh?" And I'm just honestly, anytime she speaks, I'm like, "Where are you from?" I do not get this.
It's from growing up in Germany, being an English speaker growing up in Germany. I think.
Okay, that makes sense. But it was just like, Andy said it right.
Yeah. So this came about. Because after the Enfield show, Alex thought we needed more bounty stuff. So me, Kat and John were sent off to figure this out. And we grabbed Tex on the way to make it an attack so Kat and John wouldn't have to ad-lib a full interview about it. To paraphrase one C. Montgomery Burns, we did 2 takes and this was the best one. I am quite glad that half of it is covered by the digital corruption on the remaster, so you don't have to watch it. I've always hated this segment.
Oh, it's Kieran. We with this especially. because it's been off for a couple of weeks, you probably needed to do something because there's a reason we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this done as quickly as possible and forget about it happening.
And it was also to emphasize that it didn't have to be a match for her to be taken out. As we said, she should have been like the DDT 24/7 Iron Heavy Metal Weight champion. Yeah. Right? People attacking her in car parks and that kind of thing. And this was as close as we got to doing that. So, where is Tex Benedict? Well, up until 2023, he was in matches with people who had been spoken out about for LDN. Then he moved to Salem, Massachusetts as a PE teacher. And then last year, and I'm going to quote this from the CBS Boston website, 42-year-old Darren Benedict, no T on the end, a gym and health teacher, was arraigned in Essex County Superior Court on multiple felonies, including enticement of a child under 16, possession of child pornography, distribution of obscene matter to a minor, and 3 counts of sharing visual material of a child in a sexual act. He was released on $5,000 bail and placed on house arrest. Benedict is accused of making plans to meet up with a 14-year-old girl for a sexual encounter. Investigators say he was unaware he was actually talking to an undercover police officer who was monitoring a teens-only chat room. Benedict was arrested on July the 3rd, 2024, and indicted on July 29th. A pre-trial hearing is scheduled for October 3rd, but Benedict is not required to be there. So, allegedly, another wrong-un. I can't find any follow-up to this. That hearing has obviously happened. I can't find any details about it. If you're morbidly curious, the segment from the local CBS News affiliate is on YouTube.
I'm getting the word dick.
Yes. So, opening titles. And then Into the Void with John Atkins, as he tells us we have a packed show coming up with Doug Williams putting the big belt on the line in the main event against Zebra Kid, and the reveal of Nikita's bounty holder. But first, a rematch from our first episode. It is Aviv Mayan versus Mark Sloan from June 18th, 2004 at Brent Town Hall. Heads are shaking already. Mark Sloan has his entourage with him.
The Power Rangers.
Yes, he didn't tell us they were called the Entourage for some time, and we all called them the Sloan Clones, and he didn't like that.
I've got them down as the purple Cobras from Dodgeball with the way their kind of costumes are looking.
Yes.
I really wanted them to start doing the moves and the chants. Like,
yes. So they are quote Mark Sloan star pupils. They're all wearing Sloan-esque tracky bottoms and hooded tops. They're his cornermen, and they've got a stool and a bottle of water and a towel and motivational assistance, I guess. I think the cast would rotate, but here they are: Alan Gallagher, who we saw getting killed by Birchall as one of the peasants; Ollie Burns, who is now Priscilla, Queen of the Ring; Graham Hughes, who moved to New Zealand and opened a promotion and trading school there. We've mentioned him several times. And Tyrone Johnson, who had the amazing real name of Mike Christmas.
Oh.
Well, then again, it's a common name, that, because I had a teacher once called Mrs. Christmas.
Really? Interesting. Yeah. Well, Mike is the only Christmas I've ever met. Very nice man. No idea what happened to him. So, 30 seconds into this match, Aviv looks like a greasy, ripped child, and Sloan looks like he's knackered and needs a shower already.
I know, and I know we mentioned the nickname that the crowd give him, but it is Speedbump Mike Bailey, innit?
Yeah, he's in this like royal blue gear with like yellow and black chevrons on him. It looks like a bee is trying to fuck a traffic cone.
Did you see that lettering on his shirt as well? No equal.
Yes,
I did. I didn't enjoy that little touch on his gear.
Yeah, he also had on the bottom bit as well where it said no equal and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. And it feels like one of those guys, like those MMA arsehole gear that they wear, which is like tap out. It's like no equal and tiny shitty writing at the bottom.
Don't forget, this is 2004. This is when UFC is like just about to hit it big or just hitting it big.
As long as they weren't the surfboarding thing, Fat Willies.
No, that goes on the front of the t-shirt, down the bottom. So Aviv gets the better of the opening exchanges, eventually flinging Sloan to the floor with a fancy arm drag. Sloan comes back in, just beats him up. Mayan gets a near fall off a leapfrog into a sunset flip, and they run through this long, choreographed spot of cradle reversals that ends with Sloan missing stomps and a buzzsaw kick, and Aviv just roars into his face like the world's smallest lion. They do a flippy-do in the corner. Sloan hoofs Aviv in the spine and then goes to his corner so his little elves, his little imps can remove his kick pad, and then he comes back and does it again with the exposed bootlaces. As Sloan is working over the back, I noticed how tatty the ropes looked.
Yeah,
like there's tape peeling off. Particularly in the corners. There's big like foot-long sections of exposed blue rope in the corner where the red tape has come off. Like, couldn't somebody just run around with a roll of gaffer tape before the show went on air?
Well, you're closest to the ropes, Kieran, so get it done, mate.
Yeah, I didn't have any. They wouldn't pay me. They wouldn't buy it for me.
There's one bit of tape being loose on one of the ropes that just pissed me off the entire time.
You just want to reach through the screen and pluck it off, don't you?
Like, you just want to go, excuse me a second, just stop what you're doing, lads. I just need to tape this one fucking bit and we can carry on. Just annoyed me the entire time.
Well, we've only got 3 or 4 episodes of seeing it. What happens? Aviv slips out of a powerbomb, runs wild with a bunch of fancy cradles and roll-ups until Sloan just kicks him in the face. Here is where I noticed the hard cam is definitely out of focus on some shots. Mayan hits a tornado DDT that London claims is Aviva Fantastic, whatever that means. He hits a standing moonsault that's mostly just a face to the chest, a spinning runner out the corner, and a definite edit in his satellite reverse DDT. Sloan comes back with a monkey flip into the ropes, and we go to the break. When we come back, there's a whole load of reversals ending with Aviv going for a Manami roll type thing and getting powerbombed onto the knee. Sloan follows out with an air raid crash over the knee, but Aviv comes back with his crap rocker dropper Rana thing for a 2 count. And then, I know Andy likes this name, but the Aviva Las Vegas double jump moonsault. All right.
It's good. It's a good. It's cracking name. I love a good one.
I think the move would look a lot better if he wasn't holding the ropes the whole time. So if he was able to, Vikingo or Commander it by doing it hands free, it would look a lot better. But he's just holding onto the ropes and moving the top rope and moving his feet around on the middle.
He's just being careful and making sure it goes off well.
Is this because Mark is dressed like a health and safety cone?
Yeah.
Sloan drags Mayan up to the top rope, but Aviv brings him back in with a Dragon Kid style top rope Frankensteiner. We cut to a complete non-reaction from the entourage for no discernible reason. I assume we had to edit something out. And then Aviv climbs up the turnbuckles. And at this point, 5-star Mark Belton comes herring out from the back and he leaps on the apron, going, tag me, Aviv. Aviv looks confused. The ref tells Belton to get down. And as he complies, he slaps the top rope as he drops, causing Aviv to crotch himself. Sloan climbs up, super cradle DDT, gets the pin, and the crowd are far too happy for Mark Sloan to have won a match. This was almost 15 minutes long, and by 7, I was begging for a Steve Corino run-in. I wanted him to jump the rail again. A lot of this felt like the practice version of the real match. They were so light and choreographed in a lot of what they did. 2 stars.
2.75 here for me.
But you seem to love Mark's. Well, I know you love Aviv, but you seem to really like Mark Sloan matches as well, I've noticed.
I do like Mark Sloan, but he's got very much that no selling style, what we see enough of on Reslow.
Yeah.
He felt like he just didn't give Aviv enough, and he was trying to get his own shit in, whilst looking like a tub of toxic waste sweets.
Oh, yes.
I think it was the Sloan powerbomb onto the knee, which I thought looked rough to take. Like I say, Aviv didn't get much, and this is a lad as well who's beat Alex Shane twice, your top guy in the company, and you're losing to a fucking speed bump. Hang your head in shame, FWA.
Do you have anything further to add, Eddie?
Probably on the same length as you. I'd go 2.5. I like the springboard flying arm drag. I thought that was quite good. There seemed to be a bit of miscommunication between them at a certain point, because there was a moment where Aviv does a moonsault from the kind of top, lands on his feet, and then stares. It was a very stares at Sloan, and then they kind of don't know what to do. Thank you, Tony Giles, for pointing out what I would have said about Sloan being in the way of the ropes. The ref should not have counted. Don't know why he did, but hey ho, there we go. Ref gold star for
I can't remember which ref it was in this one.
The one who looked very scared. He looked like Bambi on ice sometimes with his eyes and the facial reactions he was making at certain points.
I think it might have been Tommy Stevens.
Potentially. The powerbomb on the knee was nasty. Yeah, there was a good edit. I was kind of wondering what happened because there were certain edits where it was like, it did feel a bit sloppy this match. So there were always certain things that had to get cut out. I've put down the afro hair trainee is quite reactionary in terms of all the stuff he's doing, which I'm
that's Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas was great here. I enjoyed watching him at certain places.
It became a problem as time went on because he was far more entertaining than anything Mark Sloan was doing in the ring, and it was really distracting from the match.
If I'm the booking team, I start that as a slow gimmick to get him involved in the work, like the Simmons kind of thing.
And then when he gets beat at season's beating in December, Christmas is cancelled, literally.
Yeah. Great, but he'll work there. And the ending comment I liked, which was "Back to Wales, a fate worse than death." So maybe just do that to you guys at the end of each show when you have to go and record your Reslo stuff. But yeah, it was sloppy a bit. It felt a bit kind of miscommunication between the two of them. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrendously bad. It wasn't -5 stars, put it that way.
It was there to further the Aviv and Belton angle. I don't think it needed to go 15 minutes to do that.
No, and I think as well, Belton doing the whole kind of bit at the end, I get it, we have to kind of establish him as a heel, but to Andy's point as well, Aviv has beat Alex Shane. It's one of the things that's even put in the kind of commentary bit as well. So it kind of feels a bit more of a step backwards that he's losing to Mark puts you to sleep Sloan.
Maybe they think because he's got these 2 victories over Shane, he's bulletproof, like he can afford to take a loss.
Potentially. I mean, he needs to win a bit more than he does losing, I guess, as well at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's won much after that, after those wins against Shane. So it's, again, it's throw up either way. But yeah, Sloan gets the win, and the Purple Cobras are happy. There's, what I said, the Christmas is quite reactionary to most of the stuff. The other guys just seem like they're scared shitless and they don't know what to do, and they just kind of like look mopey and have their hoods on. It's like, well, we're getting replaced next week anyway. If you
if you put a foot wrong, you get a bollocking from Mark Sloan in a warehouse in Portsmouth next Thursday night, don't you? So
yeah, true enough. But yeah, that's how I felt about it.
Afterwards, Belton leaves, happy with a job well done, and as the Sloan Clones swarm their man to celebrate, Birchall's bong goes off, and it's time for Birchall's monster moment. This is Birchall debuting the standing shooting star press on Steve Linsky at Crunch in March 2003, one of the few surviving pieces of footage from that show. You will notice the audio appears to have been completely constructed in post-production. Don't know why. Maybe I was only given pictures. You will also notice the broken bottom rope. This was to kill some time while that got fixed, and also to give Linsky his kayfabe on-screen punishment for, well, you know what. Back to John in the Batcave, as he gives a brief explanation of the bounty, saying that the bounty holder has promised to reveal themselves on this show, and throws to FWA ring announcer, quote, the lovely Jane Childs for more. So we go back to Brent Town Hall. Jane also explains the situation. It's always good to have your angles explained twice in a minute, and introduces Nikita. I noticed the camera work was all over the place for her entrance. Whoever edited this, I'm not claiming responsibility, seemed to pick every possible wobble and zoom to put in. Nikita gets in the ring. Jane asks her how she feels about all of this, and Nikita says this farce has been going on long enough. She wants to know who's been making her life hell for the past few months, and she wants to know now. She hands Jane back the mic and turns to the aisle, and Jane says the person who put the bounty on Nikita's head is... and then clubs her between the shoulder blades with the microphone. Eddie has his head in his hands.
like what? Like this is a surprise for the books here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Let's not look at the fact that obviously and rightfully so, Nikita Hogan no sells this. This microphone shot to the back and then just gets.
Well,
straight
she's
back
been
up.
hit by a civilian. She hasn't been hit by a wrestler. So I thought that was acceptable.
I just found it very funny when she just like pops back up and then turns around.
Yeah.
Wow. Did not see that coming. I'll be completely.
That was going to be my next question. How about you, Andy? Did you know about this? Did you seen this before or seen it coming?
I'd not seen it before, but I'd heard it on an interview with Stevie Knight.
Okay.
Mentioned it on an interview, I think with Greg Lambert on Morecambe Wrestling. So it spoiled it for me, but seeing it on here, shit.
Really?
What a disappointment.
Really? Because the crowd eat it up.
But
Like-
I can sort of see, was it a radio show would have still been going then, or has it been?
No, the radio show's done by now.
I was thinking, is the animosity still coming over from that side of things?
Over which female should answer the email.
Yeah.
I think as well, this is kind of the right thing to do, given the fact you consistently have like two ring announcers and obviously Atkins and Jane. So I can kind of see if maybe that's something they're moving away from now. So I kind of understand that bit. But then obviously, as always, you can't have a Brit wrestling and you can't have anything without the next person
Yes.
who comes out.
Yes. So as Andy said, Nikita doesn't really sell this, and she whips around to face Jane, and Jane is pointing and laughing, but realizes she has fucked up. And Nikita backs her up into a corner, and then sprinting down the ramp comes Sweet Saraya. She gives Nikita a tombstone, shoves referee Tommy Stevens down by the throat, and then at Jane's urging gives her a second tombstone. And Childs announces the winner of my £10,000, excuse me, got to remember where we are, bounty, is Sweet Saraya. Jane hands Saraya a check, and the bad girls leave Nikita laying, telling LSR on the way out that Nikita is nothing and that she got what she deserved.
Didn't they mention here about fines or something?
Yes. So a pile driver in the FWA is banned, and you are fined £5,000 for doing it. So because Saraya gave her two, all of that £10,000 has been explained away, and it goes into the FWA coffers.
Oh, fucking brilliant.
It was mentioned on commentary, and I just burst out laughing because I was like, right, that's how we wind that up quite quickly.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
this show already, and again, I don't want to spoil what's coming up next, but it feels like a takeover of some sorts, if you will. With the amount of,
yeah. So I like this reveal and this swerve. Nobody in the building saw it coming. And Childs instantly became more interesting. Like, look how much more personality came out of her the moment she became a heel.
the cackling she's making and stuff like that is great because it's showing that she's, it's, I like it. It's story. It's not just her being there. And then, because again, I originally thought this was Stevie Knight and then we're like, well, why do we keep doing a reveal for this when I thought it was clear it was Stevie Knight? But now we're getting somewhere we're cacking up. It's great.
So there are a couple of issues. One of them is, although there was a bit of follow-up, this never got paid off. They have only ever had one match in the FWA, and that was a crappy mixed tag 2 years before this angle. They don't have, so Saraya and Nikita don't have their first singles match for over a year after this, and that was for Charlie Rage's Playhouse WrestleFest. The other issue is, if you go back to the original Bounty announcement on the FWA website, it says, this woman wrestling on FWA shows when more talented men are being ignored by the FWA is a travesty. So they clearly forgot the men part. This obviously wasn't meant to be the reveal. I'm sure of it. But I think in the moment it was good, although Andy doesn't agree.
No, it just feels like quite a lot of wrestling storylines. They try and rush through it, just like, oh, we just get this out of the way. That's my feelings on it.
Yeah. However, you are seeing it in a compressed format. This had been going on for months.
Right.
This had been going on since...
It's been going on quite a while, though.
Uprising 2? Yeah. This has been going on 6-8 months.
Yeah, but on the
And we just don't see it because of how we're consuming the TV and how the TV was put together.
Yeah, well, now the TV's put together, it's like, it's a main thing for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and then you don't see it for 6.
That was something I was going to point out later on, but we might as well do it here. The skit with John and Tex should have been at least a week ago.
Yeah.
Rather than having 2 segments on the same angle on the same show.
Yeah.
But I think, as we've already discussed, there's like, and again, I get why you've done this. There's like certain shows where it's like storyline A and B, and we focus mainly on 2 episodes of A and B, and then 3 and 4 we focus on C and D. And then
a lot of it is time pressure as well. It's what will fit into this show. I have exactly 45 minutes. What will fit in this show? What needs to be seen before this thing, and where can I fit it all in?
I get you.
Yeah.
Listen, we get you.
Yeah. So, page turn here, and it's more nights. Ricky is in the locker room giving Zebra Kid a pep talk. You all right, Eddie?
just page turn here and just the nights.
So Ricky's giving Zeb a pep talk when Tony Giles interrupts to get the exclusive scoop for FWA TV. Ricky does a pretty good promo. He's building up his boy, apart from when he says, I had him outside in the snow, the snail, and the rain. To paraphrase C. Montgomery Burns, we did one take and this was the best one. So he builds up Zebra. He calls Doug the best in the UK and calls the FWA title the top title in British wrestling, but says you're looking at the new champ by the end of the evening. Live event ad for September the 4th at the Morecambe Dome and the 5th at Hot Wired in Broxbourne. Phone the ticket hotlines now to see all of the stars of the FWA plus Brian Spanky Kendrick. I have no idea why the word featuring isn't centered like everything else. Also, John's voice sounds like he's recording this in the bathroom. I don't know why that is either. Unfortunately, Spanky decided he was going to work for Hustle and 01 instead of doing these FWA shows. Sorry, boys.
Who did he get replaced with?
I believe it's Colt Cabana.
Similar stature of the time.
Yeah, I guess he was. But he'd been over before, whereas Spanky would be someone new, and they always liked to try and make it new people. Yeah. Like, there would be complaints. If they announced the same import twice within a year, people would go, oh, we've already seen them. Why are you getting them again? Because they're fucking good, maybe.
Brenda from Bristol, innit? Or another one.
Tony Giles is a real person. Unbelievable. Can't believe we've actually seen him. The promo with Ricky and Zebra, and I'm treading very carefully here because I like my life and my soul. There was points where like Zebra's not facing the camera and he's facing his dad, and then he sometimes quickly takes a peek at the camera to make sure,
He is a bit dead-eyed throughout this, isn't he? He's like,
my dad's told me not to look at the camera, but I'm just going to do a quick look to see if it's okay. Because my dad told me to, and I'm not going to, I'm looking. All right, okay.
I mean, to be fair, if the pair of them in a room, you're getting Rick to do the talking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was fine. And yeah, I'm very sad that Brian Kendrick decided to choose Hustle and 01 over the Morecambe Dome and Broxbourne. But Colt Cabana's not bad, I guess.
Yep. So after the break, same live ad again. Don't forget, there had been 4 minutes of commercials in between these. And then back to the Atkins dimension as he sets up the main event, saying that Doug Williams recently suffered a shoulder injury in Japan, so doctors wouldn't clear him to wrestle a 2 out of 3 falls match. However, Doug insisted that this title defense go ahead as a 1 fall match. So Andy, we are getting the FWA title defended, and this contest is scheduled for
1 fall.
Yay! Finally, you have your wish.
I bet you money though, lads. That Zebra was in the back saying 2 out of 3 falls don't work for me, lovely.
Sorry, where's he from?
Norwich.
Sure. So John also says that Zebra was granted this title shot by being the longest reigning All England champion in FWA history, which seems plausible enough, especially because Roy hadn't won a match in the FWA for a full calendar year before this.
Well earned, Roy.
So it is Doug Williams with Aviv Mayan in his corner versus Zebra Kid with Ricky Knight in his corner. Did anyone else notice that Ricky Knight had changed his shirt since the promo? Because these were not shot on the same day. The other thing I noticed, look at the whole place on their feet in anticipation of this. Like, this was a draw. given that Doug has an elbow support on, maybe they should have said his injury was to the elbow and not the shoulder.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him because he never obviously used the elbow pad before. So
why didn't they just say it was an elbow injury?
Yeah, and then they're like very clear on commentary. Torn rotator cuff. Rotator cuff, but he's got an elbow pad.
And let me tell you, I've never torn a rotator cuff, but I've sprained one and it fucking hurts. So, playing into being injured, this being only one fall and wanting it over quickly, Doug attacks at the bell with a clothesline and a load of knees for a 2 count. As soon as they're up though, Zebra is firing back with a load of kicks, and after a long rope running sequence, a big super kick for his own 2 count.
Kieran, it was at this point, is this the one with a load of leapfrogs and duck unders?
Oh, yes.
And according to the commentary, they say Zebra's trying to trick Williams, and I put, whoop, that trick,
Not that trick, Williams. So this kick, though, it's like Doug has just run face first into a girder. It looks really stiff. It could just be a good sell. So they slow it down with some wrestling, holds and counters with Zeb targeting the crook shoulder. And then it turns into strikes after Roy uses the ropes to escape a leg lace, and he snapmares Williams to the mat and cracks him with this lovely short, low thrust kick to the face. If you're a Dragon Gate aficionado, this is akin to BB Hulk's first flash. Doug sells this big, standing up to square off with Zebra, and then he drops to a knee all dizzy and goes to have a chat with Aviv in the corner. Williams takes over by using a flying knee strike and uses his technical skill to keep control. Roy comes back with arm drags and a flying head scissors to send the champ to the floor. You talked about all the the duck unders and leapfrogs and stuff. I really like the rope running in this match. They go full tilt. It's really dynamic, and their timing is perfect as well. Zebra sets up a chair at the end of the aisle, drapes Williams across it, and hits a Cactus Jack style elbow across his chest, and then a baseball slide to the bollocks in the corner that has Linsky threatening a yellow card. Zebra pulls it on with a big suplex, some more kicks, and a drop kick off the middle rope, but Doug gets his foot over the bottom rope. And then we have a little scrap on the apron that sees Doug taking a slingshot into the post, and we go to an ad break.
The sell he makes and the way he charges himself towards the thing on the slingshot.
The slingshot spot, yeah.
Oh yeah. But you were saying there, one of the things I'm thinking of, obviously, we have we used to have Johnny and Jody and Doug and stuff like that, as far as the really talented workers that can go and stuff like that. And I think Zebra at this point in this match so far looks like he can really hang with Doug and them in terms of that at that point. I love the fact he had 2 Norwich scarves and just handed them out and then he threw them away at the beginning.
He was given them by people as he passed by and he was chucking them back. People would often show up with Norwich City themed things to wave in his face and have him take off them and hold up and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Zebra Kid was over.
He really was, yeah.
Yeah. So when we come back, we pick up where we left off on the outside with Roy hitting a leaping DDT off and onto the same chair. Back inside, it's fisticuffs in the corner that ends when Zebra backheels Williams in the sack and then goes to Linsky claiming he's got something in his eye. They have a bit of a miscommunication in the opposite corner, but Roy brings it back with a top rope sunset flip and then a rolling sunset flip out of another corner for a pair of near falls. Williams connects with his trademark dual knee strikes, followed by the bomb scare off the top, which, don't forget, has put away Mark Belton, CM Punk and D'Lo Brown in recent weeks. But he's slow to cover and Zebra just about kicks out. Zebra wins a mid-ring fist fight and goes up top, but Doug cuts him off and brings him in with a double underhook superplex. He feels it in the shoulder again, though, and again, slow to cover, and Zebra is able to kick out. He signals for the Chaos Theory, but Zebra holds on and then trucks him with a lariat coming out of the corner. Roy hits 2 Enzui-giris, but Doug feels the fighting spirit and just screams in his face to bring it on after each one. So Zebra clotheslines him again and points to the elbow. He's going for the Zebra crossing. As he climbs up, Aviv runs over to tell Linsky that something is up with Doug's shoulder, and at that moment, Ricky Knight runs over and shoves his son off the top rope. Zebra sells the neck. Williams, who hasn't seen any of this, gets up, scoops him up into an emerald flosion, and scores the pin. Ricky Knight yells at Zebra Kid, and that's as good as my Ricky Knight. Ricky Knight, that's Ricky Knight impression. Yeah, so he yells that at Zebra, and storms off up the aisle as everybody else looks confused. I'm gonna have to wait until these two. I need to send for the man. Hold on. Are you all right?
Sounds It sounds like the cop in Hot Fuzz who goes, yeah. So it's just honestly, like, it's the stunned silence in this crowd when that happens, and like and then they start obviously booing Ricky, and I'm like, like I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Ricky, and not for Ricky, for Zebra. Yeah, just Christ, he does not move well. Ricky does at this point, but that is obviously quite clear, at least in this bit.
He's 53 at this point and has been wrestling 15, 16 years, I think.
Yeah, it's a while just thinking, because obviously you look at the whole, like, the movie Find My Family and the stuff, and you think of when that was, and then you look at when this is and stuff like that, and you obviously, I said, that family's been going on in Norwich for quite some time in terms of that, where Ricky just going, yeah.
Eddie, just to let you know, so Ricky Knight Sr. is 53, 1 year younger than Chris Jericho nowadays.
Jesus Christ. And they just keep popping out generations, because obviously, how old is RKJ at this point now?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, very much a Norwich themed episode for these two we've got, or at least for this bit.
But how about the match? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I like Rick, I like Zebra Kid, and I like Doug. So it kind of this kind of worked really well. They both are kind of giving all they've got. I mean, we're very glad it was a one fall only match. So, but yeah, I thought this was good, and it's good. I don't need to do any Where's Doug.
Yeah, he's right here. No need for Where's Williams.
But yeah, I thought this was good, really good.
This one I give 3 stars.
Okay.
For, probably Zebra's best showing for quite a while, because he's got out of the Vanson verse, hasn't he?
Yeah.
At least. The thing is, I think it was one of the episodes what we'd seen before, or an advert for it. Because I already knew Ricky Knight Sr. had turned on his son.
Oh, because of the it's the website advert, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think it mentioned, like, why is Ricky Knight Sr. on the website? I was like, he's not turned up yet, and I think we said about it then.
I think as well, it's also that I think one of the things we had to watch, or one of the things that was played, was that trailer of that show that was coming up. Yeah, obviously he had Ricky Knight versus Zebra Kid, so you kind of figured something was happening, but it just felt like he came out of nowhere. I was expecting it to kind of build up over time, and it's like, oh, here's Ricky Knight. He's cheering on his son to win the belt. Oh, right. So he suddenly decided no. And what point of his process he changed his mind?
Yeah. You think it'd be he'd lose the match, and then he can say, "All right, you're a disappointment," and then turn on him.
You're not bringing that belt back to Norwich.
Apparently, Norwich is now in the West Country.
Well, yeah. 3 out of 5, and yeah, as I say,
okay,
pretty all right.
Yeah, we apologize to anyone from Norwich because we're just fucking up your accent, but we.
I think I might be the high man here. I went 3 3/4. I think this is the best non-import match we've seen on TV. All the best stuff has had, Sanjay Dutt or AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and all that kind of thing. I thought these two had a cracking match. I liked it then and I like it now. It's about 14 minutes. It's a great pace. They never slow down. I think it's helped greatly by Doug taking control and not letting Zebra do night things. This isn't an inexperienced Hayde Vanson that Roy can just do what he likes with. So Williams is seen as best in the country at this point. So I guess there's a bit of respect that comes with that. And Roy might actually listen to him and let himself be led.
Yeah, I think as well also because they're both, because obviously we've seen Zebra's style and it is very stiff looking and it is very like, oh, you're going to get your shit kicked in here. But with Doug, obviously, I think the way both of them make it look is very, very snug. But yeah, as you said, it's like the current ace of British wrestling in Doug.
Yeah.
And who you would probably at the time see as the future ace at that point.
Yeah, he very much was. He very much was. And if there hadn't been that whatever it was in the corner and the tainted finish, I probably would have gone even higher as well. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So we go back to John, who seems to have turned his music off. I guess someone unplugged his stereo. And he tells us that next week it is the Battle of the Cornermen, Aviv Mayan versus Ricky Knight, James Ty versus Johnny Storm in, quote, a high-stakes matchup, and footage from Flash Barker's retirement ceremony.
Oh,
I think the first half of this episode is a bit crap, but the Nikita bounty reveal is exciting and interesting and a swerve, and then the main event is really good. I think it was a bit daft to essentially have both matches end the same way.
yeah.
So a guy goes up top, and then someone else comes down and either pushes them off or hits the ropes and causes them to fall off and lose.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've had that before on an episode where the two matches have had the same kind of finish happen or something like that. So
it's down to the timings of what fits.
Yeah, and you need to kind of, again, as I said, you don't want to hold on another week to kind of find out who is the Nikita stuff, and then you also kind of need to get other stuff dealt with. But I agree with you. I think the first match with Sloan and Aviv is kind of a bit just again because it just doesn't, and for me it just didn't seem like they meshed well. There were certain good bits, but it just didn't really mesh well. The Nikita reveal, I'm on your side on this. I thought it was a real surprise for me. I just, soon as I saw Sweet Soraya came out, I just laughed because all I could think about was Jeff Ogden. Her
best mate.
But yeah, and I was like, I really wanted to know, and I really want to find out why Jane had done it and why Jane was behind the bounty. So it was kind of, unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to find this out. Or maybe
we do. They do at least have a promo coming up where she explains it all. But I'm going to spoiler now. There is never a match between Nikita and Soraya.
Okay, well, listen, she made the town. She was in the car, and they were like, "Come on, anyway, we'll get you on it, and then you don't need to do anything else." But yeah, and then I agree with you. The second part, as we get into the kind of the Doug and Zebra fight, great. It was good. I would go 3.5 probably on that. But yeah, two good things, and then just a bit that just didn't really mesh well for me. Yeah, but not bad.
Episode 20. August the 19th, 2004. Cold open on a Ricky Knight promo in a locker room. He says ever since he cost Zebra the title, his phone hasn't stopped ringing. Ring, 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 Ricky, Ricky boy. He says... I used to be able to do that much better. He says it's pretty simple. Roy is top of the heap in WAW, and if he'd won the title, then he'd be in demand all over the world and would have no time for WAW. Ricky would lose his main event act. He'd lose his cash cow. His closing line is brilliant. He says, I'm going to wreak havoc all the way through the FWA to make sure Zebra Kid never wins that title. And in the end, he'll come home to Daddy and WAW. And over the course of this, the FWA logo in the corner is morphing into a WAW logo.
I would have loved this if it panned out and he was in like a Premier Inn or a Travel Lodge and it'd been known that he said, "Oh, the wife kicked me out because I didn't let the son win the belt," or stuff like that. But I was like, how should I put this? Ricky's phone has stopped ringing. I hope he hasn't been allowed back in the house. And I also liked is the fades to black and white as well within it. That was a nice. Yeah. I loved the shot of when you mentioned the FWA title and it showed the FWA title.
That looks fucking shit though. It's just a JPEG scrolling across the screen. It looks so bad today.
Like a screensaver and it like boing.
It was so cheesy and so shit looking. I was like, oh my God, that's quite cute.
Yeah, regrets I have a few. Other than the one match we're going to get between Ricky and Zebra, I don't know what the long-term idea behind all of this was. It's entirely possible there was a falling out because you know who we're dealing with here on both sides.
Yeah.
I like this promo though. Like Ricky's a good promo.
Uh-huh.
And I quite like his small-minded, narrow logic. It's not, if my son wins a prestigious title, it'll be more eyes on the home promotion. It's, if he succeeds, he'll leave and we'll suffer. I wonder if he had the same thoughts when Paige signed with WWE.
For like a month or two thing, this is probably a decent thing to go down. Interesting thing. 9 times out of 10, family stuff work in wrestling.
Yeah. But I wonder what it was meant to be long term.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe there wasn't a long term. Maybe Alex was like, come here, do this quick angle, have a match with your kid. And then I don't know.
put your kid
But
over.
it's like
and then,
it's a whole lot of nights in one go, isn't it?
Yeah, it basically feels like, like WAW have kind of just like, oh, I need this moment. And was like, right, the WAW van's coming and it's got Saraya, it's got Ricky, it's got Zebra at that time. Let's just put them in something. But I think as well, like, you have him go over his dad, then obviously maybe build him up again to have another shot at Doug. And again, that's hypothetical speaking. But obviously, it's the two egos of Ricky Knight and Alex Shane if we're really looking at it here. So like, that's not gonna last. That's a time bomb way to go, really.
Yeah, I guess it is. So page turn. And then John Atkins is interviewing James Ty in the ring in Morecambe earlier tonight. Oh, here we go.
I love this. John
Wow, all that head shaking. I thought you were going to be negative. Go ahead.
John Atkins basically saying to James Ty, you're a bit of a loser, aren't you?
Yes. Which was compounded by something I had to edit out. So James came out through the curtain and went the wrong way off the stage. And because of how the barrier was set up, he had to do a full lap of the crowd to get back into the aisle and make it to the ring. And he played this off by going around and slapping hands with everybody as he did his lap.
What a loser.
So, yes, anyway, John wants to ask about the losing streak, but as soon as he gets his question out, here comes Johnny Storm. They are scheduled for a match tonight. Storm mocks Ty for being a loser and wonders why James thinks he's worthy of fighting the best thing going in the FWA. He says he's given it a lot of thought and he's come to the simple conclusion the reason that James keeps losing is you suck. Ty says it's put up or shut up, and he thinks that much like between Storm's ears, there's nothing in the XPW briefcase but air. He challenges Storm to open the case and show there really is a belt inside, and he leads the crowd in a chant of open it. But Storm kicks him in the balls and hits him on the head with it. He fucking wallops him with this thing. It's a great shot. And says, looks like I just opened it on your head, bitch.
I love that.
He then throws out the challenge. He says tonight isn't about the XPW European title. He wants something out of Ty. He wants his career. He is so confident that he'll win that he puts his own up too. So tonight, the loser leaves the FWA.
Ooh.
Good little segment to set up the stakes in the main event, but the biggest problem is the heel is getting cheered throughout all of this.
I'll put this on my nose head. Absolute monstrous cheer for Johnny.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, isn't it?
I put quickly, all he does is lose. John doesn't need to please stop reminding James that he's a loser. And for some reason I put James Ty at this point looks like a very shrunk Davy Boy Smith Jr. with the way he's dressed at certain points. Don't know why I put that there. Opened it on his head, bitch. I enjoyed that one.
So after our opening titles, in the void, a slightly out of focus John Atkins reiterates the main event stipulation. He tells us we'll see footage from Flash Barker's retirement ceremony and then throws to the Morecambe Dome for our opening contest. The Battle of the Cornermen, Rowdy Ricky Knight versus Aviv Mayan, June 26th. The first thing you hear out of Ricky once we transition from the inset screen to full screen is, sit down and shut your cake, old boy. The hard cam looks like shit. It is piss yellow, it is out of focus, and it is set to progressive rather than interlaced, so it is running at a different frame rate to the others. Horrible. You will notice it doesn't get used much. So Knight kind of starts out like, oh God, I'm very sure written that in this. I've wrote Knight starts hot and stiff. Please don't think too much about that. With a clothesline, headbutts, a slam, and a leg drop. The crowd immediately hate the old man beating up the 19-year-old, which is the point. He also, though, sells brilliantly for Aviv's comebacks, his hope spots. They have a chop battle, and every time Aviv hits one, Ricky looks stunned and he wheels his arms around like he's losing his balance. there's a bit more heat, and then Aviv is able to speed things up, which gives him the advantage, and he confounds Ricky with rope running and slides between his legs before hitting a Hurricane Rana and then drop kicking him out of the ring. And again, Ricky's bumping and selling for this is really good. Mayan follows up with a messy, sloppy dive to the floor and smashes Rick's head into the timekeeper's table and the apron. He backs off to get some distance for a running attack, but Ricky has recovered and plows into him with a spear at ringside. Knight bounces Aviv off the table and bonks him on the head with a bottle of water. And then when they go back in the ring, Ricky goes after the back. So he's already shoved him into the apron, and then he hits a side suplex and a powerbomb. More rope running that Ricky tries to get a slap. Did you see Ricky doing fucking lucha spots? Like going down on his back with his legs open for Aviv to tumble over him. He tries to get a slam out at the end of this, but he loses balance midway and has to kick out of a cover. Aviv gets a second 2 count off a running crossbody and then misses a third. He avoids an elbow drop and rolls outside. Rick grabs him when he comes back in, forcing Aviv to fight out of a sleeper, and then flattens him with a clothesline when he does. Knight throws Aviv over the top rope. He comes back in with a slingshot sunset flip, but Ricky drops all his weight on him and covers him for the pin. I think this suffers from... Do you remember I said they started doing this TV show and they did not format their matches for television? It was just, this is a live show, we'll cut it up and put it on TV. And this suffers from that. This is a 7-minute match that they accomplish in 9. And I think today, and or without the strict 45-minute time limit, I would probably cut the bit with the sleeper near the end. So Aviv avoids the elbow, rolls to the apron, and then comes back in with the sunset flip and the finish. But I still really quite like this. Like, I like the logic of it. I like the dynamics of the larger experienced brawler against the young small wrestler. I like that Ricky doesn't bulldoze Aviv and sells believably for his comebacks. And I even like the balloon pop finish. What is going to work for the old man? Being heavy and awkward. 2 3/4.
2 3/4 from me as well, mate.
Hey.
RKS, we'll call him it, like Ricky Knight Jr., RKJ. He's RK Senior. Is it
It feels weird to me calling him senior, as he was the only Ricky Knight in wrestling for a very long time.
Yeah. It was at least giving Mayan summer. He's not stinking the joint out, which you think, bit past it, it's going to just move around a bit slowly. It was excellent.
I thought, given his age and his size, he was up for it, and he was moving fast and well. They figured out how to work together pretty easily.
Yeah. But I would like to point out they ain't half done a number on Aviv Mayam. 2 episodes, what we've watched. Maybe Alex Jane isn't the problem.
It is a bit unfortunate that this had to air the week after he lost to Sloan.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, there would at least be a week's buffer with maybe a promo with Doug and Aviv where Doug says, I know you're down after that loss, but I saw what happened. Why don't you come and corner me in the title match? And then you're not. And don't forget, I assume you guys did as I did and essentially watched these episodes back to back.
Yes.
Yep.
So you're not getting a week in between TV episodes. So it probably feels even more compounded. But I kind of agree. I don't think they've done a number on him. I think it's very unfortunate we've had to watch him lose twice in very quick succession.
Yeah, but I think it's because we're sort of half expecting, right, here we go. He's going to be the next big star, probably going for Advancing's title, and then he loses to Sloan RKS.
I guess also, wrestling booking didn't work like that back then.
No.
And different bookers have different styles, but yeah.
But then again, we're looking with 2025 eyes where...
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
I thought it was a decent match to get Ricky Knight Sr. established, because obviously it's the first time that we've kind of properly seen him in a match.
This is his first match in the FWA.
Yeah, and he's bumping his arse off, and he's clearly doing everything he can to make sure he's memorable.
I think he's been told to make Aviv look good, because Aviv is currently one of the golden boys.
Yeah.
And fair play to him for doing it.
Yeah, differences between the ringside cameras and the hard cam, definitely my word I've put that down as. I would have said the Ricky Knight Sr. would have been great for the old school stable if you couldn't get Drew McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think the idea, because again, I think with Drew, maybe Drew didn't don't. It's a while since
Drew
we've
had
seen
the
it, but
presence but couldn't move. Ricky has the presence and he doesn't have as much presence, but he can move more than McDonald can. Imagine those two as the team.
you keep obviously Drew. You have him, Dino, and Ricky, and it's like this is how we remember it. And that is more menacing, I think, than kind of just the two of them at that point.
Sideburns, get the time machine.
Plus, as well, Kieran can do an impression of both of them perfect. He's got Norwich down pat, and he's got East Lothian down pat.
And Andy, and if we and the listeners close our eyes just for like, another episode which lasts an hour or so, we could pretend that he is Drew for that episode, and we could also pretend that he's probably Ricky Knight. So we get two guests there just by closing our eyes.
Is that our next two interview episodes lined up?
Yeah. Surprise.
Drew McDonald speaking from the grave.
We do a live episode and we do like a seance like that one they did with Michael Jackson hat. But it's that picture of Drew in the frame still. Nick London calls kids ugly at one point, which I thought was quite funny because they were arguing with Ricky Knight. But yeah, because we've watched it back to back, I feel for Aviv's character. If you were watching this back to back, you'd be like, hold on a second, that's twice now he's lost. But I kind of get your part of it as well. But it was a good establishing match for Ricky, who was clearly like someone who's come into a company and went, right, I need to kind of put myself out there and do what I need to do to kind of make sure I'm staying. But obviously, as we've probably already been told, this stay will not last that long.
It's a weekend break rather than a long-term rental.
It's back to the pedestrianisation of Norwich after this, I guess.
So after 17 minutes, we get our first advert break. All of that was before the first break. We get the September shows ad as we come back, and then the website ad and the bong. Birchill's Morecambe Monster Moments. This one has haunted me for 20 years because it's the time I let a typo go out on air because it says Birchill's reigns supreme in the Morecambe Dome. I'm a dumbass. So we get clips with Guildford Paul murdering Dirk Feelgood on May the 29th, Joey Hayes on June the 26th, and Johnny Fear on July the 31st. I am bamboozled as to why there is a shot of Greg Lambert in this. He was a big Johnny Fear guy and tried for a long time to get him over and get him in the FWA. So I have the tiniest inkling that it might have been like a family initiation angle. Like, I've been watching you. I think you've got something. If you beat whoever comes through that curtain, you can join the family. And the bong went off, obviously, and he got killed. Yeah.
And I think in the promotions after the FWA, he was a huge fan.
Yes.
Johnny Fear.
Yeah.
He was used quite a bit.
Yeah.
And as we say, you can't have Morecambe Wrestling without Greg Lambert. So, like, I can understand completely why you've put him in this.
Well, but if you think he on screen with the FWA, he is only associated with the family, and there are no family members in this.
Yeah. So I mean, if the fear bit is really the bit that we remember that we kind of have just conjured up there, then it does make sense. But
yeah. But without that reasoning, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, so he's turned up in the back like Road Warrior Hawk during a promo, and he's like, "Oh,
it's the bit in The Simpsons where it's like when all the characters or when Morecambe is on, or when Morecambe appears on the screen, all the characters should be going, "Where's Greg Lambert?" And it's just Greg appearing, waving.
I think we've made a Poochie joke on every episode about somebody or other.
The slow-mo on the Shooting Star Press was great. I love that bit. That was
it was until you notice him pull a face as he scrapes his face across, I think it's Fear's chest. Did you notice the gauntlets and the leg things?
No.
The gear is coming together.
Oh, interesting.
He looks very different in each of these clips. So, back to the Void for John to throw to Brent Town Hall for the Flash Barker retirement gimmick. I don't know why we didn't cut out John saying serious surgery, which the crowd mock him for. So, in the ring, we have James Ty, Aviv, Doug, Zebra, and Justin Richards and Loki. The idea is that these are people who will have a history with Flash in one form or another. This has been massively cut down, as on the night, everyone had something to say into the mic. On TV, we get to hear from Ty and Richards, and they say nice things about him. There's loads of chance for Flash, and he takes the mic and explains his retirement. He thanks the fans. He basically says, he's got this injury, and it means he can't perform to the level he feels he needs to in front of paying FWA fans.
But an hour later, he looks like he's dressed to do a night on the doors, doesn't he?
and a couple of seconds later, after he says he doesn't want to cheat the fans, someone shouts, "We don't care, Flash."
Yes. I suspect that to be Johnny Boy John Herbert, who was a massive Flash Barker fan. He appears several times in this. He's got signs and stuff. There are people crying in the crowd. That one girl in the front row. Yep. LSR teleports in as Eamon Andrews. Flash Barker, this is your life. He gives Flash a replica FWA title belt, which is very obviously just the actual belt that he's going to hand back to Doug as soon as they step through the curtain. And he introduces a tribute video set to Wish by Citizen Smith, which later got renamed Monster for some reason.
All right, leave the memories alone.
Yeah, kind of. I like this song a lot, but it's not suitable for wrestling because the main refrain is "Be careful what you wish for."
Hold on, Andy. Tell me a lie and say that you won't go. Tell me a lie.
Hey, Eddie, what an angelic voice you've got.
I know.
Thank you.
Are we going to be doing karaoke in Oberhausen? What's happening?
Oh, yeah. By the way, as a Scotsman, I do need to say, I did laugh at the woman in the England shirt crying, because that's not the first time that'll happen in a good number of years going forward.
I'll tell you what, with a voice like that, Michelle McManus is fearing for her life on the...
Hey, I voted numerous times. This household voted for Michelle McManus when she was on Pop Idol, and numerous times we'll do it again.
I feel we've got derailed.
Oh, don't worry. I mean, one of the things as well, the replica belt. I'm just imagining the awkward sequence at when they go back the curtain and go, right, so we actually need this back now because we don't have a replica for you. Yeah, and you're like, I'm getting it back, right? And LSR's just like, no.
It's like if you win an Oscar, you get backstage and they immediately take it off you because it has to go and be engraved, and then you have to pay to get it. And then you have to pay tax on it if you win an Oscar, because it's seen as like a material asset under American tax law.
All right.
Yeah, winning an Oscar fucking sucks as far as I've been told.
And he's probably like 6 months after the fact as well.
Yeah.
Kate Winslet went on one interview and said, "Oh, she just has her Oscar in her toilet."
A lot of them do. Yeah, I think she said like she uses it as the doorstop for the downstairs bog, doesn't she?
Wild.
So Barry edited this video. This one wasn't anything to do with me. It's fine. Some of the timing's a bit off, and I don't know why you would put Hade's attack on the knee in the middle of it, seeing as in storyline, that's what triggered the retirement.
I've put in here, has someone been at the production truck here? And why is also the virtual bong in it as well?
Yes. I know. These are the whys. But this would be like if you had to leave a job because you got run over and they gave you a nice send-off. Here's all the great presentations you did for us, Phil. Oh, wait a minute. Here's the CCTV footage of you getting creamed by a Nissan Ultima in the car park. Anyway, back to the presentations.
Eddie, what you said about...
We've lost him, hold on.
The virtual bong going off. Which I put it on my notes, virtual bong, and I actually drew a little shock face on my notes just to make
I do think the highlight of this video, though, is definitely that fucking nail gun of a Michinoku driver he hits on Jody in the Uprising ladder match.
Yeah.
Minor gripes aside, though, this is a really nice segment that got over huge in the building. Flash was massively popular with the fans. The only downside, who else spotted Marty Skrull in a Simmons t-shirt in the front row?
No.
Yeah. He's there, right on camera. And nobody knows who he is at this point. But there he is, another wrong un for this episode.
I'm desperate to know what Brandon from New Jersey said, because he's a man of so little words. It was like I put down this as like, oh hey, all the baby faces have come out. I know there's only 6 of them, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not baby faces. And then I suddenly realized, oh shit, that's Justin Richard. And then I'm like, what the fuck is Loki? And then I remembered, obviously, Loki's been kind of a big involvement.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny seeing all these people and then Loki.
So as I remember it, I cut this whole segment together, and then as the matches were more important, had to keep cutting and cutting and cutting bits out until it fitted in the slot that was left. So as Brandon's not going to be back next week, but Aviv and James are, like, they get picked to go in the package.
Right, okay.
So we have an ad break, and then with nearly 18 minutes of the show left, John throws to the Morecambe Dome for James Tye versus Johnny Storm. Loser leaves the FWA, May 29th, 2004.
Quick question for you. Before this, there was an FWA Academy advert.
Was there?
There was, yes. I think this is the one that you're actually in.
Well, there wasn't on what did you watch?
I watched an old version, like, probably not the remastered.
You watched the old version, not the remaster. Okay, so was it FWA Academy or was it was it Futureshock in Manchester?
It was that one, yes.
The Futureshock one?
Yeah, and you're in the actual ring.
Yep, that's because I shot that. And yeah, I was oh fuck, I didn't think we'd get around to talking about this. Jesus Christ. So I was dragged up to Manchester for no extra pay, as I recall, to make this ad with Alex because he had taken over the training at Futureshock.
Correct.
I don't think anybody in that gym signed a release form. I don't think we put up any sign saying there's going to be filming going on here. Do not ring the phone number that's on that. I don't know whose mobile that is in 2025. So yeah, I was basically taken up there to film this, and then I edited it afterwards, and that I appeared in it. So we could show promo training, and rather than just have people, pointing a finger, holding a microphone and pointing a finger at Alex, we thought that like it would make sense if there was a camera in the shot. Yeah. And everybody else was like, oh, I don't know how to hold a camera. So for what, I can't remember who I gave the actual shooting camera to. I don't know what. Oh, it was to be me in there because they didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't want it to be any of the trainees or wrestlers holding the camera that the promos were being done into. So I gave one of the most sturdy looking trainee like the actual camera and focused it up for him and just hit go. And then I jumped into the shot with that little camcorder to shoot that bit.
Right.
I've heard from somebody who's in that advert, and I can't remember who it is. It's the one that's on about Europe's only 20 by 20 wrestling ring, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And there's a thing at the end with it. We guest trainers like Doug Williams, Mark Sloan, Loki, and AJ Styles. I was like, I wonder if Loki and AJ Styles actually turned up to that school.
They did. Yep. Yeah, they did. Yeah, both of them did seminars there. Yeah.
I'm watching this quickly just as we speak because I have not seen it at all. I do also love the fact that next after FWA was Combat Zone Wrestling, because of course it was. But wow.
Do you want me to send you the actual ad?
Yes, please. I think you've seen it already, maybe. I think you maybe already put it. So you want to be a wrestler. Alex's
voiceover's got this really weird ring on it as well in that, hasn't it?
Wow. A 20 by 20 wrestling ring.
Oh, you've got it. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Schmats. Oh. What a time this looks like. But yeah, so because had he just taken over Futureshock then at that
I do believe so. And Futureshock hasn't been around that long at this point.
You're looking good, Kieran. You're looking good. You're telling them what to do. You're telling them how to.
I'm looking thin. I don't know about good. That t-shirt's fucking hanging off me, isn't it?
Wow.
T-shirts don't hang these days. Oh. Okay, so Futureshock is only a training school at this point. Futureshock doesn't have their first show until... Futureshock's first show as a promotion was the 14th of August, 2004. The weekend in between these two episodes of TV we're talking about.
Yeah, it's always in the middle of August, their anniversary shows.
So yeah, this advert, very interesting. Very interesting stuff there.
Hey, it was on my show reel for a while. I directed a TV commercial for a wrestling school in Manchester and didn't get paid for it. Right, shall we carry on?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
Okay. Okay. So what happens? James Ty comes out first. Johnny Storm twats about and showboats on the stage, and Ty comes racing into the shot and forearms him in the head, and then flings him into the ring. Storm powders to escape a beating and gets crushed by Ty's lovely tornado dive over the top rope. Johnny tries to come back with a double jump Rana, but gets caught and hit with a backflipping kick under the chin. They slow it down with some wrestling, which is where Johnny is able to get a brief respite by reversing some holds. And James goes between Storm's legs while holding his wrists and goes, "Come on, yeah," to the crowd, and then lets go and puts him in a headlock. Were you also expecting James to just pull his hands and flip him? Like, so he punched himself in the balls and flipped over? Like, that's the perfect time to do that, and he just put him in a headlock. So anyway, Storm pulls Linsky into the way as James goes for a corner charge and then cheap shots him and hits a wheelbarrow DDT. Storm is now on top and uses my favourite Johnny Storm move, the double jump top rope headlock. And then debuts the top rope wrist lock.
Shit house.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
But you can see why stuff like this, the crowd would be like, "Oh, I fucking love that."
Yes. That's the problem. The heel is too entertaining. It is heel stuff, but it's entertaining.
The thing is, it's like the most charismatic person on the roster against paint dry.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
So a Frankensteiner brings him back in. Ty threatens to press Storm over the ropes to the floor, but settles for dropping him in the ring. And then hits a twisting crossbody off the middle for a 2 count. Storm comes back with the double jump Rana, the Fantastic Four, and some choking. A Michinoku driver and moonsault combo gets a near fall, but he struggles getting up to the top rope for a Frankensteiner, allowing Ty to counter with a powerbomb. Ty can only drape a single arm over as a cover, though, and Johnny kicks out. We get another 2 off what is now Shun Skywalker's blaster. Then Johnny reverses a whip to get an O'Connor roll, which leads into a series of cradles and clutches back and forth that results in them getting dizzy and collapsing. The commentators are saying things like "another slice from the salad bar" and "a pizza the action" were Nick London's little references to him finding out that day that we recorded the commentary that one other or both of the wrestlers used to be pizza delivery boys. So out of the final ad break, there's a strike battle. And then James scores a 2 off a side effect, and then he runs into a super kick for a 2 the other way and comes back and hits another Dragon Gate move I can't remember the name of. Storm gets about 60% of the super rewind Hurricane Rana and backflips out of a German suplex to hit a backstabber, but pulls James up at 2. Storm escapes the Titanic and hits the Wonderwhirl, but again pulls Ty up at 2. He then recovers again with a back press, but Ty hooks his arms into a crucifix pin for the win and to send Johnny off to work for Scott Conway in Thailand. After the match, like, Storm has this little tantrum in the ring as the fans give him the goodbye song. Johnny Storm kind of makes this match all about himself. He was like, "I am going to get all my shit in and show you what you're going to be missing while I'm not here." I seem to recall he only told them about Thailand when he showed up at Morecambe. So this stipulation, they came up with it on the day. I still think it's a good match, though, and I like that it is the heel's hubris and arrogance that means he loses. I would just like his hubris and arrogance to mean he takes Ty's finisher and loses rather than a flash pin. But you can't have everything. Here's
a question for you, Kieran.
Yes.
With that, him turning up and saying, "All right, lads, I'm off to Thailand for about 6 months," or whatever.
He's also from Norwich, Eddie.
Were they still having huge plans for him? Do you remember? Or
I honestly can't remember. But, like, this is a kick in the bollocks. Like, a year before, you've lost Jodie Fleisch.
Yeah.
And now you've lost Johnny Storm. And these were set to be the wrestlers of the early 2000s in the UK. And they're both with the FWA. And now you don't have either of them. Like, I'm sure it would have screwed up something. I'm sure there would have been a plan with some kind of big blow off of something at Uprising.
Because you'd think, because the crowd are getting behind him. And just thinking, like, nowadays, if crowd get behind someone, it's sort of eventually they crumble and say, we're giving them the belt because
I'm sure. I don't know about the. So I think the title, the plan for the title was set in stone.
Yeah,
but I think there would have been a babyface turn.
Yeah,
coming at some point. And don't forget, this isn't the first time he's done this, because before Uprising 2, when he got wind they were going to put a hair stipulation on his match, he rung up Alex and went, "Hello, I've shaved my head."
"Hello, Alex, I've shaved my head. You can't put there."
Well, he turned into like Terence and Philip offs.
Hey, fuck you, buddy. I went 3 1/4 on this. Any arguments?
Yeah, 3 1/4 from me as well. It was good fun, probably mainly because Johnny were in there.
Yeah, I think Johnny is kind of in that range now where it's a heel that becomes incredibly more likable, or incredibly more the fans like him. The match was fine. I like that Ty got a bit more I got the offense from the off start and stuff like that. I even liked how Linsky was quite upset that the match ended, because obviously it fits some of that tiny storyline that Linsky kind of on the odd occasion has helped out, or kind of been the heelish ref and with that. So I thought it was a surprise, because I was kind of thinking, is this going to be the end of the good ship James Ty? But no, Titanic lives for another day.
Has anything I've said struck you as odd about this match? I'm looking at blank faces, so I'm going to suggest no.
No.
This was taped 3 weeks before James Ty lost to Loki.
Oh.
And it was opted to hold it back so James would have one more loss in the TV timeline before winning this. In the moment, this was not a popular decision online, as all the fans knew the real order of events. But I think it was for the best, because if you'd gone from this to Ty losing clean to Loki, you're cutting him off at the knees immediately. But yes, this is our time travel. So we have one final trip to the Atkins Void to set up Birchall versus Simmons and Alex Shane and Hayde Vanson versus Steve Carino and Jack Xavier for next week, and we're out. But wait, a quick 30-second teaser for September the 2nd, 9 p.m. AJ Styles returns and will wrestle James Ty. So there we go. Apart from the mostly technical gripes, I think this is a decent episode. I think this is better than 19.
Yeah, two good matches.
Yes, yeah, 2 good matches. There's storyline developments with Ty no longer being a loser and Johnny out of the company, and the start of the Knight family feud. Any further comments? Any disagreements?
No, I popped heavily for the you are, I am. Good choice. Good use of
let me tell you, if you put that on YouTube, it gets you a copyright notice. Not a strike, but they know. Somewhere a bell rings in Garrett Kidney's study.
Someone's using the theme again. Oh God.
Yeah.
No, I mean, good to see AJ back. AJ's been around for quite a while. They also announced the Steve Carino match as well within the.
Yes, that's what I said. Like next week, it is scheduled to be Alex Shane and somebody else Hayde Vanson against Steve Carino and Jack Xavier.
Question.
Yes.
Birchall and Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were friends now.
Well, not necessarily friends, but they sort of have co-ownership of the number 1 contendership to the tag team title, but they don't want to be number 1 contenders together.
Oh, the odd couple.
So this will be the match to help sort out that mess.
Right.
And we're waiting for the Duke of Danger to pop up or something like that,
He does precious little popping up on this series, doesn't he?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, when we saw him last, he was consistently injury prone. So,
yeah.
I'm curious to see what comes of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the match with Johnny and James was quite good, was quite decent.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you guys on that. Episode 20 picks things up a little bit more, and we don't really I think episode 20 decent. Episode 19 beginning a bit flat, then picks up. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think across the board, these 2 episodes are quite representative of the TV show. If someone said, show me a typical episode, don't show me the best one, don't show me the worst one, show me a typical episode of FWA TV, like you could just chuck them one of these.
And it'll be curious because obviously now Johnny Storm's gone, so it's kind of like, right, so that's one heel down, but then we've only got really on the heel side, we've got the family and Vanson and Shane. And then we're kind of looking at on the face side.
Don't forget Mark Sloan. Don't forget Mark Belton.
Oh, sorry, the purple Cobras and Bell End with a ponytail. But yeah, so I mean, we'll just see how it goes. It feels like, again, because obviously how talented Storm is, and obviously as well how in demand Storm probably is at that point, other than going to Thailand, a bit of a loss.
Any further thoughts, Andy?
No, I thought the second episode were much better than number one. There's a lot still going on, ain't there? And it's always good fun to look back at these. No Alex Shane or Jack.
Yeah. 2 Alex Shane and Jack Xavier and Hayde Vanson, 3 episodes.
Yeah. The world's coming to an end, lad.
Well, before the world ends, Eddie, give us an update on the tournament. What's going on?
Okay, can't really comment too much on it because I'm still trying to find out if I can buy. I'm still finding out if I can buy the. I'm trying to find out who owns the 5starwrestling.com domain. Trying to see if I can win that somehow. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Eddie Sideburns. The Twitter account is retired, but we're over that. We're done with that. But yeah, I don't have anything else to plug. But yeah, keep an eye. Probably next time you'll hear a bit more about the tournament once I've dealt with the legal issues.
Okay. Well, someone who will always have something to plug, particularly this week, Andy, tell us about Graps and Claps and your other appearances.
Yeah, so as ever, you can follow me on X at OggyPart3. Follow my podcast at GCP Podcast 1. We've had live reviews from Riot Cabaret, featuring Ben Corrigan on the guitar, from the Revolution Pro Wrestling Anniversary Show, the Night 2-1, featuring a ping pong tournament in the background, and show 3 of that weekend, which was AEW Forbidden Door, where me, Jeff, and Mr. Lafort reviewed the show outside the Dolphin Pub in London with a half-dead barman serving us £4.50 pints of lemonade.
Right. Could you understand a word that man said? Because I couldn't. He really was the mumbling cop from Hot Fuzz.
He was, weren't he?
There was a nice cat coming around to say hello on occasion. Couldn't be pressed for an opinion on Hangman Page versus MJF, though.
Certainly couldn't, but it was a nice outside bit. It was a bit ropey. Yeah. Inside, I would say.
I think we made the right decision to sit outside.
Correct. And also, I've also been on Grapple Live as well with Benno, going over the Forbidden Door weekend, just like quick thoughts about everything that went on. And also recorded a new episode of Working a Reslo, Puro Reslo, with Kieran, as we talk about Franz Schumann and Flesh Gordon.
Oh, Christ. Yes. One of these is good. One of these is bad. I will let you draw your own conclusions. You could probably guess from the name which is good and which is bad. But listen to the episode and you'll hear our opinions.
Yeah. Patrick Lopez, Fit Finlay has ever been the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah. And contributing the Puro is Takayuki Iizuka from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Exactly so. So go and listen back to that and all the back catalogue of stuff, Reslo Transatlantic Wrestling Challenge, and coming up, we've got the missing episode of UWA Wrestling Rampage, episode 18, as found on Johnny Storm's YouTube channel.
Yeah, no idea where he found that, how long he's been sitting on that for, but fucking hell, I wish he'd found it like 3 years ago or whenever it was we were doing that show.
Yeah.
So, you'll find everything to do with this show at linktr.ee/FWApod. We are on Twitter, Blue Sky, and YouTube at FWApod, and Instagram at FWA.pod. As for me personally, I am at Kieran Edits on Blue Sky. I should probably also plug that if you are a PW Torch VIP, you can hear me on the August episode of What's on the Telly as I discuss 1986 NWA and 1993 Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Alan 4L. Go check that out. Thank you very much for listening. Now, thanks to the excellent Dan Ambrose, I've got a little surprise to play for you, and there's 2 things you can do about it.
What you staring at, man?
Chris Justice. Chris Justice.
What you staring at, man?
Chris Justice. Chris Justice.
What you staring at, man?
Chris Justice. Chris Justice.
What you staring at, man?
Chris Justice.
Justice time.